Hey folks, it's Ben. I'm here with another awesome video for the Red Barn Homestead channel. What we're doing is we're making a replica of a hanging ball ornament for a Christmas tree, but we're using tractor tires so it fits in our yard. Kind of similar to our tractor tire wreath we did, and I've linked to a video right now on how we did that. We actually have two tractor tires here off a garden tractor that these have been replaced, so it's not that they're no good, we just can paint them and be happy. But we have two tires here, and what we're ultimately doing is placing a piece of wood to cover the wheel part. Then we're going to paint the whole thing, put some designs on it. I think we've got some other tricks to kind of make it look like a hanging ball, and this video is that adventure. What I have here is a scrap piece of wood. This is a plywood. It seems actually fairly fancy, but you can't really use a composite board or something like that because as soon as it gets wet in the rain it'll swell up and be awful. So you need some sort of plywood or maybe an OSB, but even that will get bad. What I've done is I've got two centers here. My board happens to be 16 and I'm only going 15, so that's great, and I'm plenty long enough. So I'm going to take a speed square here, hook it here, and I'm actually going to measure out, since half my circle is going to be 7.5. It really has a slot at the 8, so we'll just do that. We'll make it a little bigger. And oops, I didn't mark where that one was. 8's gonna be on this hole right here. And I'm just gonna put my pencil there and do a circle. Try to do a circle. There are lots of ways to make circles, but this is just seemed like the easiest way for me. This isn't exactly a science experiment. It doesn't have to be super duper perfectly round. It just has to be round enough. Let's try to do better on this one. Oh, I see, my center wanders around too. So after doing that fairly sloppily, that actually looks pretty bad down here. There we go. So now we have our two circles. We'll take our jigsaw and I'll time lapse you through the cut on those, and then we'll get to the drilling of the two little holes. Just using the mental locations of where those bolt holes might be on the wheels, I'm going to try one here. And I'm also going to try one, probably about here. I'm going to do that for the second wheel. And then I'm probably going to use a clothes hanger, wire clothes hanger, because that's some really solid. And we'll show you how we're going to tie these to the wheels, so hopefully they don't move. I've taken a clothes hanger and kind of tore it apart and broke off the curly bits. So now I'm going to stick each end through, because the least part I want showing, of course, is the part that we're going to decorate. So with this pulled fairly tight, and I'm going to use my vice grips here and just kind of bang it flush. This will hopefully get painted. Then I'll run them through the back of my wheel here, and I'll just pick two holes to go through. So with my wooden wheel somewhat centered on the tire, I'll just take these and kind of loop them over once or twice by hand, and then I'll take my vice grips and just crank it. And because this is such a heavy gauge wire, it's really gonna pull and it won't break. So I've got that twisted fairly tight, and it broke off the ends by itself. And it's fairly tight on the wheel. It's never gonna move, and it's good enough for us to paint and decorate as we lay it down. So I'm gonna do that again to the other tire, and we'll be well on our way.
So the first thing we have to do is get these guys all painted up. So we're going to hit them with red spray paint. This is just some Rust-Oleum, that's the French side, in gloss apple red. It's something that we've had for other projects, so it's nice. And we're just gonna hit the whole thing and the edges with the red spray paint. Okay, so we got the red paint on. One thing to consider when you're picking tires, these ones have a lot of tread and it was super hard to get the paint into the tread, so I ended up using a can and a bit of the red paint. So something with less tread on it would work better. Once the paint is dry on these, we're going to put on the last two things, which are the design and the caps to make them look like Christmas balls. So for the design, I cut them out on my Cricut. I did two different snowflake designs, and I'm going to stick them on the middle right there. This is a permanent vinyl, and I've had good luck with it staying on in the cold, so we'll see how it does. So that looks fine. It didn't go as well as I would like. I do not think I would do the Cricut vinyl again. I think next time, if I'm going to do this, I'll cut out the stencil and do the spray paint with the Cricut vinyl. It looks fine from a distance, but up close you can see it just didn't go on real great. And we'll see, it may not stay on for the winter. It just may not stick well enough. It may get cold or damp and just peel right off. So as they stand, they look okay. We're gonna go with that and see how it works. The next step is going to be putting on these two galvanized buckets for caps.
I've got construction adhesive here on our little cup that looks good on the thing there. Hopefully we can, in the middle.
Yep.
Press it down. And that doesn't seem like it's going to stick very well, but we might have to.
We might have to try something else. We'll see.
Yeah. That, or if we can just. It's got. Oops, there we go. We can paint this. Ugh, no, it's real messy. We're gonna have to paint this. That might do what we need it to do. Oh, in the back we don't care much about.
True.
This is just some old construction adhesive I had off another project, so it's good to use.
And yeah, we can just throw some quick paint with a brush on that when it's dry.
Yeah, I think if I create a physical adhesion here around the lip of that bucket, that might help.
And the other thing about this is it's meant to be viewed from far away, so if it's a little bit messy, it's not going to matter too much. Okay, so I took a paintbrush, just a disposable dollar store paintbrush, sprayed some spray paint in the can lid, and touched up around the edges of the lids. So that finishes up our Christmas ornaments that we're going to put out by the road so people can see them. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, and have a great day.